Welcome to The Source, where we combine the headlines with in-depth conversations with the newsmakers themselves. I'm Pinky Webb. Today on the program, a Senate resolution calls for an investigation into the Bureau of Internal Revenue's failure to collect the unsettled estate taxes of the late dictator Ferdinand Marcos. Former Senate President Juan Ponce Enrile urges critics to file charges against Bongbong Marcos for the non-payment of estate taxes. Senator Koko Pimentel joins us live. And over 27 million vaccines are in danger of expiring amid low vaccinations and the looming threat of the Omicron XE hybrid variant. Health reform advocate Dr. Tony Liachon also joins us later in the program. The Senate probe of the 203 billion peso estate tax liabilities of the Marcos family could start this week. Senate President Tito Soto says he will discuss with colleagues which committee will handle the matter. Meantime, former Senate President Juan Ponce Enrile volunteered to defend presidential candidate Bongbong Marcos in any court as he downplayed the estate tax issue hounding the Marcoses. Let's go straight to the source of this story. We have PDP Laban Chairman and Senator Koko Pimentel. Senator Pimentel, welcome back to the source. Thank you so much for your time.
Magandang umaga, maayong buntag, naimbag nga bigat, Pinky.
Maayong buntag, sir. So let's talk about this. Resolution 998 calling for a probe into the BIR's failure to collect the Marcos estate tax. I said a while ago, sir, that sabi po ni SP Soto, they'll check which committee will look into this. Has there been any commitment yet kung anong committee ang mag-lead ng investigation ito?
Wala pa po. I will leave it to the Senate President to designate the committee. Pero this is a flexible subject matter because number one, it involves uncollected taxes. Diba? So pwede ito sa ways and means. And then it also that the taxes, should this have been collected, could have been appropriated or used for ayuda sa mga naghihirap ngayong panahon. So pwede rin ito sa Finance Committee. And then since 20 plus years na po itong kasong ito, we can even look into non-feasance, malfeasance or misfeasance. Ang ibig sabihin nito yung failure to act by government officials or refusal to act. So pwede rin po ito sa Blue Ribbon Committee. So this is a very flexible subject matter na posibleng ma-take up ng maraming committee sa Senado, especially if they have a related matter already referred to the committee, and then they can just cite this newest resolution by reference.
Do you have senators, your co-senators, already supporting this resolution in the middle, sir, of this election season?
Well, I've read some pronouncements. I think even the Senate President himself supports the resolution. Yung running mate lang niya sabi na if this resolution is heard, mag-inhibit siya because he's running for president. So ganun po. Marami po tayong nababasa at naririnig na expressions of support.
Opo, pero how will you or how are you sure or how can you determine, sir, na matutuloy po itong investigasyon na to? What do you need in order for this investigation to push through?
I need a committee chairperson to schedule it. Yun lang po. That's it. And then I'm sure, and then I will attend and somebody else, some other senator will attend to provide a quorum.
So do you have any of the committee chairpersons likely to get the ball moving? For example, Ways and Means, Finance, or Blue Ribbon?
Or Blue Ribbon. So we just need to talk to them or to continue to talk to them.
Okay. Pero wala pa pong
Wala pa pong schedule as of now.
schedule. And you think there's time, sir? Is there time for this?
Yes, there's still time. We have still the whole of April and the first week of May. Pwede naman po. And then, kung hindi talaga kakayanin sa time before election, then we do it even after election. Pwede pa rin. So, technically speaking, we have the months of April and May.
Because I think you go back May 23, if I'm not mistaken, from the break.
That's correct.
Apo. Okay. Who do you plan to invite? Sakali pong matuloy ito.
Of course, BIR officials, the highest official of the BIR, present and past, and the present custodian of all the records related to this particular estate tax. And we can also invite, just in case may questions po doon sa heirs, the administrator of the estate. Para kompleto na po at in one hearing, we can ask questions.
And when you say administrator of the estate, who would these be?
From what I have read, no, kasi I have no first-hand information sa proceedings nila sa korte. But from what I have read in the Supreme Court decision, this would be Mrs. Imelda Marcos and Bongbong Marcos.
So, but if it's based on that Supreme Court ruling, I would assume this is the 1997 ruling of the Supreme Court, sir?
Yes, that's correct.
So, would there be any other question on that? If lumabas po sa ruling ng Supreme Court that the co-administrators are the former First Lady Imelda Marcos and former Senator Bongbong Marcos, could that still be questioned?
No. They are to be invited because they are the administrators. Oh, wow. There should be no dispute about their being the administrators, but just to be resource persons already to be present, so that if there are questions to be addressed to the estate, what payments the estate has made. So, yun, pwede na po itanong doon sa administrator.
Which obviously also the past and present BIR officials can answer as well. But I wanted to find out, Senator Pimentel, when you talk about present and past BIR officials, are you looking at from the time this was decided upon by the Supreme Court in 1997? In other words, lahat ng BIR officials from 1997 hanggang ngayon, 2022.
Yes. The head, the commissioner.
Right.
Maybe even earlier, mga 1990s, because they started, 1997 is the date of the decision of the Supreme Court. But of course, galing sa baba po yan. The dispute came from a lower court. So it took a couple of years. So maybe from 1990.
Madami ho ba sila?
Well, mabibilang nan din po yun ng mga daliri sa ating kamay. So, not more than 10 po siguro yan.
And this will really somehow, for you, shed light on what had been, what transpired prior to the Supreme Court ruling, what did they do after the Supreme Court ruled on this in 1997, and why it took this long for government to collect this amount.
Actually, this is really a hearing in aid of legislation. What are the weaknesses in our present tax laws, in the tax code, and what were the weaknesses in the past? And then did we try to remedy them? The amendments made, did the amendments really remedy the weaknesses that we saw? Because 20 plus years na po hindi nakokolekta, and we cannot say that the heirs or the estate is or was insolvent from the start. Hindi naman That's because yung 23, i-round off na lang natin, Pinky, yung 20 billion na estate tax, that is just a portion, a percentage lang yan of the total estate nung namatay of the decedent. So, ang dami sa mata ng BIR, since they computed the estate tax, ang daming properties nung namatay. That's why umabot ng 20 billion ang estate tax due. Kung ganun kadami ang property, how come hindi na kolekta? And now it has ballooned to 203 billion pesos.
Senator,
Napakalaki. So it's a world record amount already.
yung we were talking before we went on air, no? Siguro Tagalogin po natin, ano ho ba, kasi para doon sa mga we don't seem to fully understand estate taxes. Sa madaling salita ho ba, ano ho ba ito? At ano ho ba dapat ang mangyayari kapag may namatay? At may pag-aari?
Pagka may namatay na may ari-arian na under our law, automatic na namamana ng kanyang mga anak at asawa at other heirs. So yung merong tax para sa karapatan na magmana. That is now the estate tax. So bago makamana ng in a legitimate way, bago malipat sa pangalan ng mga anak or ng mga heirs ang property nung namatay, titulo yan kung lupa, and then even sa bangko bago ma-release yung cash sa mga anak or sa mga heirs, kailangan magbayad yung estate ng estate tax. Ganun po yun. Otherwise, pag hindi magbayad, hindi dapat
mapunta.
Makamana or hindi dapat ma-legitimize o malipat ang mga titulo sa pangalan nung mga nagmamana.
So kung meron pong...
Yun po yung konsepto dyan.
Opo. Sir, so I'll repeat, no? Meron po namatay at meron po siyang sabihin natin 4 na anak o 5 anak. Bago po mapunta dun sa mga anak, yung ari-arian nung namatay, yung mga anak po kailangan magbayad ng tinatawag na estate tax para po malipat yung mga properties, ari-arian sa kanila.
Correct.
Okay. Here's a question, sir. Paano po pag sa will ay nakasulat, nakasaad na, does it even matter if in the will it says that itong ari-arian ni Mr. Juan de la Cruz na tatay ay pupunta doon sa 5 nilang anak na si A, B, C, D, E? May bayad pa ho ba yun?
Correct. May bayad yun because yun. Ganito yun. Pagka merong will ang namatay at legal naman yung mga nakasulat sa kanyang last will and testament, susundin yun. Pero bayad pa rin ng estate tax yung estate kasi nga para sa karapatang mapasa yung naiwang mga ari-arian nung namatay sa kanyang mga heredero or heirs. Ngayon, kung walang will na naiwan, ang susundin natin, civil code. Pero nandun pa rin po yung karapatan na magmana.
I see. Okay. Pero either or, anumang kaso, merong kailangang bayaran na estate tax. May will man o wala.
Correct. Basta't may naiwan po na estate. Ay sabihin may naiwang properties yung namatay.
Opo. Hindi lang po properties ng estate, ni ho ba? I know, Senator, that you need to go. Just one quick question. I hope you don't mind, no? Marami ho kasi talaga nagsasabi ng mga supporters ng Marcos na this is politically motivated. Bakit ngayon? Kung 1997 pa ito, bakit ngayon inilalabas ang issue na ito dahil mataas siya at posible siyang manalo bilang presidente? Just a quick answer from you, sir.
Well, hindi nga. 25 years old na nga ito eh. So matagal na nga itong issue. Ngayon titignan na ng Senado ito kung bibigyan ng oras ng ating mga committee chairpersons para malaman na natin once and for all. Bakit ba it takes the BIR 20 plus years to collect a world record amount of estate tax na pinanalo pa nila all the way to the Supreme Court. So yan po ang ating itatanong. Ganun ba kahina ang ating mga tax laws? Pero pagdating sa mga middle class, tiklop naman sila sa BIR. Pag ano sinabi ng BIR, bayad sila. Pero pagdating na sa mga world record amounts na ganito, ay hindi nakokolekta, 20 plus years na.
All right. Senator Koko Pimentel, sir, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. And coming up, an expert is not ruling out the possible entry of the Omicron XE into the country. Health reform advocate Dr. Tony Liachon shares his thoughts when we return. Please stay tuned.